Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum, ciao, konnichiwa, bonjour, hola. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Ken at 10, bringing you the day's property news live from Southwest 16 Norbury. We are James Alexander Estate Agents. Welcome along. Thanks very much for joining me. If you're wondering why we got the Homes Under the Hammer logo up, we are on tomorrow. Yes, fame at last, or again, I should say, on BBC One tomorrow between 11:15 and 12:15. You'll find us in Streatham. So do have a look at that. I think you'll find it an interesting episode, certainly cute little flat. Right, on to what's going on. Did you, looking at the news last night, what a feral bunch our politicians and, well, a lot of our politicians and the Met are. When you see what they were saying, those text messages and everything, what they were doing, derogatory comments to women, to people of colour, to, people that aren't the same as them. It's absolutely disgraceful, and it goes to show we're underinvesting in them, in my view, and, we need to start sorting that out by paying better and getting better people and ejecting those that shouldn't be there in the first place. It's just, in the UK now, there we have this feral bunch of people that are both policing us and running the country. It's just unbelievable. Let's hope it cleans itself up. Anyway, that's my rant over for the day. Let's talk about property. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Nationwide has reported the strongest start of the year in 17 years, with the chief economist Robert Gardner noting that housing demand has remained robust. He continued, mortgage approvals for house purchase have continued to run slightly above pre-pandemic levels, with the average price of a home now standing at 255. With these measures, they're all different. If you look on other measures, the average price is 275. He's now saying house prices could be boosted if households are willing to deploy the excess savings they accumulated during the pandemic, now equivalent to around 8% of annual GDP, to finance a home purchase. Southeast towns are on the up, apparently. Romford in Essex and Ramsgate in Kent are apparently ones that suggest that homes on the fringes of major regeneration areas enjoy an average of 3.6% more growth. Home buyers are locking into long-term fixed rates as well, according to the Telegraph. And this should come as no surprise, given what we said about interest rates. There's 100% certainty locked into forward markets that interest rates are going to continue to rise and go up at the next MPC meeting. It's anticipated they'll go up by 0.25%. And this has led to more people locking in for longer fixed rates. Number of people taking out 10-year mortgages has jumped by 216% since December. And this is according to analysis by a mortgage data firm, 27 Tech. This trend towards longer-term loans has continued at the start of this week, the firm added, as buyers rush to lock in cheap rates. Compared to last year, the number of buyers taking out 10-year loans has increased by 150%. The surge in demand meant 10-year loans accounted for 4.5% of the mortgage market in the last week of January. It's nearly triple the rate of the year before. On rental, the Daily Telegraph is reporting that landlords are facing an extra £15,000 worth of costs. This is about upgrading. There's a rule that in 2025, all newly let properties, will require an EPC rating of C or above. We have done a podcast on this. Look out for that. Just search for the Property Buyer and Sellers podcast or Ken Hume on Spotify or on your iPlayer or iPhone. Just look up podcasts on your iPhone. Come on, Ken, get together. I'm sorry, it's still morning. Landlords are facing £15,000 worth of costs. Yeah, we've done a video on this about improving energy efficiency with a specialist, Bob Harris. He's an amazing guy. And it looks like it's going to be difficult to get some properties to that standard. And they're saying that they face costs of up to £15,000. And this is pushed by Michael Gove, the Housing Secretary. And yeah, we do expect this is going to impact a lot of landlords. And there will be the reason they've said £15,000 is not just the amount that it will cost, but also I think there's going to be a ceiling on the amount that landlords pay. My guess will be that if you're an E and you can't get to a C, then there'll be a requirement that you spend an amount of money to try and reach that C level by 2025. Now, if your property is let and continuing to be let in 2025, that's okay. It's the new lets coming up from 2025 that will be impacted. But it will be a C change. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Rebranding the landlord tag is an interesting one, and this is in the eye. Scrapping the term landlord as part of a rebrand of buy-to-let investment is unlikely to appease tenants, housing campaigners have said. There's research that landlords will prefer to be called small housing providers because of concerns shared by the majority. I mean, it's all about the vilification of the landlord, isn't it? Why is the landlord evil? The landlord's not necessarily evil. What's evil is a government that's not prepared to supply sufficient housing, so landlords have to take up the slack and therefore end up investing in housing which costs more, the interest payments are more, and they have to pass those costs on to tenants. But the vilification of landlords in this country, I think, is at such a level that many landlords that would still be in the market have decided to sell up on the back of a more buoyant market. And that is just going to exacerbate the problem. We're already seeing that coming through in massive jumps in rent increases this year. Bank of England data shows that households are borrowing more and saving less. This is in City AM and The Guardian. It says that people are dipping into extra savings en masse during the pandemic as inflation drives costs up. It shows consumer credit, which includes borrowing on cards, increased by 1.4% year on year. It also found that households deposited 3.2 billion into banks, building sites, and NS and I accounts in December. That's far lower than the pre-pandemic average. And that suggests that people are coming away from, during the pandemic, it was all about battening down the hatches and saving money and making sure that families were all right and frankly just surviving. And it goes to show that we're coming out the other side of that now, but on the back of that is massive inflation. That massive inflation is causing a problem and people are having to dip into savings that they previously weren't. So interesting things going on. Just looking at Afghanistan last night, what absolute tragedy was going on out there. And I do think that we need to support those people more. Nobody likes the Taliban. We get that. But there's people selling their children out there. And I just think we've got to do something. And it has to be big from the UK, because I think we're about to see the biggest environmental tragedy in our lifetimes out there. It's -12 out there, -12 at night. Can you imagine? These people have got no shelter, no food, nothing. So yeah, hopefully we'll do something, concentrate on that in some way. We're going to have to think of how, but we'd like to see that improve. And yeah, don't forget to watch tomorrow after Ken at 10 to see us on Homes Under the Hammer. Apart from that, here in Southwest 16, love a Wednesday. Wednesday's my band night. We go out and we play jazz, and I just love that. Just the feeling of being a small part of a big creation of music. One of my favourite times of the week. So up to Fulham with a Fulham big band tonight. And apart from that, in the office, got some good valuations. Looking forward to those. Lots of offers still coming in. Rental stock still not enough. Many of our quality tenants are finding that their landlords are taking the vilification of landlords as a problem, where their landlords are just saying, look, that's it, we're out, we're going to go. And therefore these tenants, high quality tenants, are looking for other places to live, and there's not that much available. So we've got a couple at the moment where we definitely will look after them. We'll definitely find them something else, because they're really lovely people, and we've enjoyed being their landlord's agent and their friend, over the years. And it'd be nice to see those relationships continue. Having been here for nearly 30 years, we're dealing not just with owners of property, but with their children as they've grown up, and then their first time buyers. And that's always a great pleasure to see, and be dealing with families through generations. It's one of the great privileges of my job. So yeah, weather-wise, it's chilly, but not too bad, really. I think, in terms of the weather generally, it feels like we're coming towards springtime, doesn't it? We're seeing those early blooms coming up and things are looking good. So in terms of the market, very strong. We're expecting to have a very strong month. And certainly the level of demand is there. We're yet to see the level of supply equal that, but I think it will start to come through. Certainly we've got a lot of people that are planning to market in the spring, as per discussions we've had with them on strategy. If you're worried about strategy and what you should do in terms of buying and selling, then of course we're here for you. Just drop us a line, email ken@jamesalexander.com. And if you'd rather, give us a call, 0208 679 8601. Apart from that, have a fantastic day. Look after yourselves if you can, also your family and friends. Stay safe and well, and we'll be back same time tomorrow with another edition. Until then, ciao.